So you never wear a belt?
No. No, I don't.
It seems like you're like pretty resolute.
I just like, I mean, I don't think I've ever really worn a belt with jeans, and I wear jeans almost every day.
Okay.
And like, I used to have to wear a belt every day when I went to like the Berglund Center.
Right.
And like, I just don't. It's like a symbol of my freedom.
Oh.
You know, not having to wear a belt.
Not having to wear a belt.
Yeah.
I literally don't even think twice about it. It just helps keep my pants up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think my pants are falling down. So.
No, never.
No.
Man. All right. Yeah. Earlier today, I feel like we were having an exchange. You're like, you wear a belt, and I was like, you don't.
I just can't believe I haven't noticed. I feel like I would have said something.
Really?
Yeah.
It would have been the type of thing where like, you wearing a belt?
Yes, that was what I kind of yeah, probably.
Really?
I would have been like, are you wearing a belt today? That's odd.
Okay. I mean, I have to ask. Like, like, you may have like your personal reasons behind it, but like it would extend so far as to like where you'd be like, if you don't have to, you don't wear a belt. Like you would think that?
I would think that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you don't see a belt as like a cool, like practical accessory?
It can be practical for sure. But I rarely see belt on jeans where I'm like, that looks better.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with belts.
Am I making a fool of myself?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you need it to keep your pants up, then
I mean, there's that.
maybe you need to buy smaller pants.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. It's very interesting. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's like I can't tell like what part's the bit and what part is like you're like, no, yeah, like why would you wear a belt?
I mean, I really don't care. I just like, to me, it was like I never wore a belt prior to having a job either.
You had that one like shamrock belt.
Well, but that was like a novelty belt.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
For sure. And I had like a belt from, I mean, all the belts I owned were almost from the 3 weeks I worked in American Eagle, and I just got like a bunch of them on clearance with employee discount. So basically for free.
Yeah.
But I wore one of them to absolute death. Like it literally just fell apart at the end.
I mean, all of my belts have also come from American Eagle for no specific reason other than I just only have to buy them like once every 12 years when the leather literally breaks.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not like against it or anything. I'd just be surprised because I would just say it's typically less comfortable than not wearing one.
Well, and I will say I'm wearing my black jeans today, and so I have a black belt for them, and it's kind of a newer thing because I only just recently ever bought like my first pair of black jeans.
Right.
And so historically I've only ever had like my brown belt.
Right.
Which is like, you know, it's kind of like Katniss's like hunting jacket where it's almost like supple leather.
Very
you know?
like worn in.
Yeah. And so like I love that belt. And then like whenever I wear these, it's kind of like, oh man, this belt is not broken in yet, and it's uncomfortable.
I think at the moment, I don't even think I own a belt.
You don't own a belt.
I had a belt that I wore at cousin Rachel's wedding because I can see the pictures and I'm wearing it.
Okay.
And that was like my belt that I owned for a while. And at the moment, I don't know where it is. So I possibly still own a belt and possibly not.
Wow.
I know, but it's like it's not like a problem.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm less thrown. Like, I mean, I'm not like, you know, everybody needs to wear belts. I'm just surprised that you're optionally wearing a belt.
I am surprised that you're optionally wearing a belt.
Well, I'll be.
I know. I mean, we're pretty business casual around here, you know.
Well, I mean, it's not a very formal belt.
Well, it's not, but it's like, you know, I don't know. You can't even see it most of the time.
Well, I know.
Your shirt comes down over it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not truly thinking of it so much as like a fashion accessory, as like something I just like need. You know.
But do you?
But I mean, I guess I could wear tighter jeans.
You could just try tomorrow not wearing a belt and see how that gets you.
Well, I'm currently not wearing a belt.
We'll see.
No, it's been a thing all day. That's why I brought it up in the first place, because I was like bending down to do some stuff, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like a plumber over here, and like, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I didn't. I don't know. You feel like you're like exposing your rear end when you bend over because you're not wearing a belt.
I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
how tight are you wearing your belt? I'd say when I was wearing a belt, I would wear it about as loose as I could get away with.
Yeah, I mean, it's on like the most open setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You had like the whole belt buckle phase in high school.
That was the other thing I was going to say. I was
Yeah.
like, this has been like a notable part of like who I've been for.
No, it wasn't. I felt like you were forced to wear a belt so you could wear a belt buckle.
Was that your interpretation?
Absolutely. Yes.
This is very interesting to me.
Yeah. I don't see belts as something like people desire to wear.
I'm so in. I mean, like, I don't have. I mean, I genuinely don't have strong opinions about belts. I'm just surprised. Like, I mean, it's never occurred. They're not like an inconvenience to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're not like adding comfort to you, are they?
Well, I mean, they're adding comfort to the tune of like the reliability of my pants staying up.
I guess, but I'll just defer back to this is never. I doubt your pants are about to just drop to your knees if you're not wearing a belt.
All right.
Because I'll tell you what, it hasn't happened to me.
That's true. That's true. No belt.
No belt, no problem.
No problem.
No belt, no problem.
But maybe it's the type of thing where it's like, maybe it's like chapstick, you know, it's like you start using chapstick and then it's like you can't not use chapstick.
You know what? I think I might be wandering into that territory with a different product right now.
What do you got?
Nasal strips.
Nasal strips?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay, well, so as perhaps you're aware, having been in close proximity to me every day for, a decade.
Yeah.
I occasionally have like some post nasal drip, and by occasionally I mean it never ends.
Yes, I'm aware that it's sort of like an affliction you've dealt with, pretty much every minute of every day.
Yeah.
In some capacity or another.
Yes.
So.
Weirdly, only like in the last like 10 years. For prior to that, zero, never, ever.
I wonder what changed.
I want to say. I was trying to think about this the other day because once upon a time, like early on when it happened, I was like, I'm going to go to the allergist and figure this out. Like maybe I've developed an allergy in adulthood or something because I've never had allergies to anything.
Right. Yeah. Not that we know of.
Not that I'm aware of. And when
belts,
I went,
apparently.
No, yeah, that was it. Except that wouldn't be a problem because I'm not wearing them. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like wearing it. I fashion it in the same as like wearing a tie.
I think of them in such radically different environments because like a tie feels so intentionally formal to me, whereas a belt feels like it could be very informal.
I mean, it can be for sure.
And I would say mine's pretty informal.
Yours is
like,
pretty informal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a brown belt.
Like, I mean, but like, so you think if you had like a more traditional office job, you don't think you could get away with wearing your present belt?
Depends on if I could wear jeans to work. If I could wear jeans to work, I mean, I think it's perfectly presentable.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a brown belt.
But you couldn't wear it with khakis to a job.
You might could.
You might could. Okay.
But it's not like I don't know. It doesn't matter. Nasal strips.
Nasal strips. So I remember though, when I went to the allergist the one time, they asked me like had my environment changed or anything, and I had like recently moved into like the house Beth and I bought when we got married.
Right. Yep.
Like that was like I guess a notable environment change.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I guess maybe that's it. I don't know. And he gave me a bunch of like over the counter potential solutions, and I feel like I've tried basically all of them,
right,
and none of them work.
You live that neti pot life.
I mean, I've got like the sinus rinser thing, like the thing you squirt water up your nose and it comes out the other side.
Whew.
I suppose I don't have a neti pot, but I feel like I don't know how different that could be from what I'm doing.
No, I can't imagine that different.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was ever exposed to a neti pot was in that episode of The Office where they're doing like the gift exchange.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden it becomes like a white elephant gift exchange because Michael brought like an iPod or something. And
yeah.
Like everybody wants the iPod. But Jim had brought like this like really cute teapot for Pam. And then Dwight ends up with the teapot and he's like, I'm going to use it to do this. And you're like, oh man, who does that? And then like if you've ever had like a really bad running nose, then you do the neti pot. You're like, Dwight's got a point.
Turns out neti pots extremely useful. Yeah, I remember I never heard of neti pots until college, and my roommate was doing it, and like he definitely had like a more like off the beaten path like approach to many things.
Okay.
And I remember thinking this sort of fell under that category, like, oh, I could take medicine or I could pour a teapot in my nose.
Into my face.
And I was like, okay. And it was like, but no, actually I think it is very useful. Well, I know that it is good at clearing stuff out, but it doesn't make the overall problem stop.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just gives you a little bit of relief.
But so this past week I had a particularly rough day of it, where I felt like I was just like like literally choking, and I was like, which is what happens to me every day. I feel like at some point I'm choking. But I was like, I went to the store and I was like, what haven't I tried? And I saw the nasal strips and I was like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I've never even understood like what they're supposed to do. It's like anytime you see them in the commercial, they always seemed like these are just things you can spend money on and put them on your nose, you know?
Yeah, like belts.
Yeah, exactly. Right. What's it going to do?
They're not there to hold up your pants.
I mean, belts are there to hold up your pants, but like you are not like you don't have, I mean, I don't feel like you have a build where it's a problem.
I'm trying to diagnose what that means. Diagnose feels like the wrong word.
It just doesn't seem like your pants would just be falling down. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just going back to it because I think it's funny. I feel like I'm making you mad.
I think it's funny that you optionally wear a belt when you don't have to.
So you're
like, you could just not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think maybe my experiences would lead me to. I notice when I don't wear my belt. I'm
Okay.
like, this is a problem. I gotta like do like the jump in the air and like hold my jeans by like the belt loops and sort of do like the like legs in both directions.
Are you buying jeans with the intention of wearing a belt in mind though?
I mean,
Perhaps this is the difference. Maybe I'm like buying jeans so that like if I determine they fit, it's because they don't move.
They don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know. I mean, they seem like they kind of fit around my waist, but then like they'll also like wear in, and then you got like a little bit of space, or I don't know. Your like abdomen ebbs and flows in sizes, and so it's kind of like today it's like a little bit tightlier, and then like later it's a little bit looselier.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, me either.
Yep.
Anyway, so you bought nasal strips.
So I bought nasal strips and I tried them out, and like I think in my mind what they did was like I thought. I don't know. I feel like anytime I've seen nasal strips on commercials, they always show like air coming like out of them or something. Like there was
weird.
some sort of like vapor or like they were opening up like a breathing way through your pores on the top of your nose or something.
In my mind's eye, I can picture this kind of like illustrative, but it's like you're illustrating it in a way that makes sense for the commercial, but not actually demonstrating what it does.
Right. Have you worn them before?
I don't think I've ever worn them before.
Okay, well that's not at least not I would find the commercials to be misleading, at least in terms of the ones I bought.
Okay.
But basically it's like a very, very rigid Band-Aid kind of material, so that like when you stick it onto the bridge of your nose, it's like trying to like flatten that out, but it's stuck to your nose, so it just like pulls your nostrils open.
Okay.
And therefore opens your airways. And I would say like surprisingly effective.
Really?
Yes, like definitely not like I'm cured, but like for sure like noticeably less. And I'm like, it's been like great for, the 3 days that I've done it.
Okay.
Or whatever.
You're sleeping this way, I assume.
Sleeping this way. I don't have one on right now, obviously.
I wear
it all day or anything.
You never know.
Yeah. But honestly, going back to the house though, like that was the environment change. But then I was thinking about that conversation because I never went back to that doctor because they're impossible to get appointments with. But that's a different story.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Been there.
I know.
Hard to get in these days.
Hard to get in.
I mean, it honestly is kind of comical. It's like because I feel like me and Allie have been going through like a whole like health like update type thing. It's like, okay, let's go get our physicals, let's get our teeth done, let's do all those types of things, whatever. So you like call all these places and like, are you free in June? And it's like June. It's January right now.
It's January.
It's like, are you that far booked out?
God forbid you miss the call and it goes to voicemail and you have to call them back because they don't answer. It just goes to some like service that's like, push these buttons and leave a message and we'll call you back. And then you get stuck in that limbo forever. And I hate it anyway. It occurred to me though that since then I've moved to a different house and the problem has not gone away.
It persists.
So
this is like one of those strange circumstances where it's like, is it the case that you happen to go to two different locations and it was true in both of those locations, and even though they're different, they both share the same problem?
Well, I was landing on that as well.
Okay.
But what I was realizing is that the constant between both places that also changed was that's when I started living with Beth. So then I'm like, is there something about the way she takes care of her life that is affecting me?
So weird.
I know.
You're allergic to your wife.
Certainly not. Although that's exactly what she said. She's like, oh no, are you allergic to me? I was like, no. But I'm like, so then we were both trying to figure out like, she was like, what is there a product I've been using for like 10 years or something that like has been consistent?
That would be so interesting if you're like, it's crazy about like the 10th day of tour, I was always feeling better.
I was just feeling so cleared out, like it was great. I don't even think that's true.
Yeah.
But that then almost makes me think there's like something like laundry about it or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't like, are we using some kind of like soap or the drug? But then like it's not like Beth buys different even soap than what I would have used.
Sure.
Like we just use like, Tide Pods and stuff.
Right. I was going to say, then the other question there too is that like, I don't think me and Allie have consistently used the same like detergent.
I know.
For like any huge, I mean, like, we'll fall into like a Tide run for a while and then we'll use whatever else. And we've used pods and powder and liquid and, this, that, and the other. So like, I'm not a consistent person when it comes to.
So sort of like, like a style of clothing that she wears that has a kind of fabric in it that just gets like mixed in with mine or something.
Yeah.
That like was not present in my life regularly before that, which seems bananas. Like what could that be? I don't know. And then I don't even know if this is the right track, but it is maybe the consistency.
It is very interesting. It's like, what's the same ever since you and Beth bought your first house together?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you lived with her.
I know. Or is there like a piece of furniture or something? Or
dude, I mean, how upsetting. I mean, I don't even know if it would be upsetting because it'd be like a win and a loss at the same time. Like, yeah, if you had like an antique hand-me-down table from grandma or something, and you like finally the day came where it went, with Luke to college, and like overnight you felt better.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no. The whole time.
It can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be super surprising.
And then Luke phones home and he's like, hey, what are those nasal strips you bought? What
brand? I know. I'd be like, oh no. It followed me home.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that's my new mystery. But anyway, I went to the doctor last week about it, and they got me a referral to an allergist, and they're going to do an allergy test, and so maybe we'll figure out what it is.
It feels like you're in that like dreaded loop of like everybody's going to refer you to someone else.
It could be. Could be.
Yeah,
I know. And I'm like, I went last week, and so far I haven't heard back from them yet. And I'm like, are they going to forget? Did they send something?
You know what's going to happen is we go to Disney this week, and they're going to call you like next week while we're getting on Tower of Terror.
That's exactly when they're going to call me.
And it's going to be like, oh, no, not now, not in my moment.
I'm doing
Luke's
my thing.
doing it. Like
doing my thing.
my
thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, should we like officially start the show? Or?
Yeah. Why don't we?
Okay. All right. Nice solid 20-minute cold open for you.
There we go. What's poppin', everybody? Hello and welcome to Popcorn Culture. My name is Ben Carlin and I am your host. Here with me today is my brother Jay, who will be in every episode. Jay, how you doing?
I'm here and my nostrils are clear.
I'm so glad to hear it.
Yay!
I'm so glad you got your phone out. You got something going on over there?
I do. Okay, so you mentioned during the cold open that we're going to Disney next week.
Yes, yep.
Yes, we are. I am so excited for it. Like more than I've been excited for like maybe any other Disney trip. I don't know. Like I feel like we have done sort of a version of this trip before.
Yep, we have.
Even last year we went to the parks like for a day before we did the cruise.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Right. But this is like everyone's had like 2 full years to age up some.
Right.
And we're going back and I'm like, oh man, everyone, not only older, but they have experience.
They do. Yeah.
They have experience. So like everyone knows a little bit more what to expect. Everyone's a little bit taller and braver and stuff. So I think like the opportunities are abound.
They really are, and I think that we've done a tremendous job on the planning side of things going into it.
I think we have.
We have a lot going on,
yeah.
And I mean it's going to be very difficult for this trip to not just basically be action packed the whole time we're there.
I know. So. I think even last time, even as much as we've gone, I feel like last time we were like it's stuck, not stuck, but there would be a lot of times where you're like, okay, what should we do next?
Yeah.
And you gotta kind of get looking at the map, and it's like, oh, that has a short wait time, but it's on the other side of the park. Or like, we could go do this, but the wait's kind of long. Like, what if we just go look for a shop a little bit? And it's like, yeah, well, okay, I guess so. And then it's like an hour later, and it's just
Yeah, we were suboptimal.
we were suboptimal. I think we are way more optimized this time.
We are
this time around.
It's on. Okay.
But so what I've done is I came up with a game for us to play pre-going.
Pre-going.
Yes.
Okay. Lay it on me.
All right. So I have come up with a bunch of over-unders.
Okay.
For the Disney trip, because I know you love a good sports bet here and there.
Yeah, some very light gambling.
Some very light gambling, although we can talk about sports in a minute because I have much to say.
There's something to be said. Yeah.
Something to be said. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay,
On this Disney trip.
On the Disney trip.
So I was helping, also just shout out to some of the little colonels out in the Discord who helped me come up with a few of these ideas on here.
Oh, very cool.
I
Very
know.
cool. Okay, so you got the community involved. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So first order on the over-unders. Amount of art Ben buys. The line is just half a point.
So basically,
Just 0.5.
do I buy an
Do
art
you buy an art or not?
over?
Over? You think over? Ben says the over. All right. Cool. Very good. I'll mark down all your answers so we can see. I think I'm going to take the under on it.
Well, we're going during the arts festival.
Well, I know.
And every single time we go, there is something I want that, like, I lament not having purchased, even though to be fair, the things that I've wanted to purchase are like,
they're stupid.
They are so not even close to close. Like 10% of the list price is probably my comfort zone.
I feel like what I'm right there. This is why I'm taking the under on this, is because I have the same attitude. I'm like, I desperately want to buy one of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like I will look at stuff and every now and then I'll think, yes, this is it. But then the price is it's just outrageous. And I feel like the day is going to come where I find something that's like, I like it, and it's like in like the $300 price zone that I feel like is I'm okay with spending that or something.
It's worth the spring, because that's the other problem too. Is like sometimes I get like like recency bias just as like a concept in general.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if this is the right terminology for this, but it would be like if you just saw Wicked and all of a sudden Wicked's your favorite movie, but then like 5 years from now, you kind of like, is Wicked my favorite movie compared to like these other movies I've just seen recently?
Oh, I know.
But it's like, I think when I'm at the parks, I am at my most Disney. Like if you were to come into my house right now, kind of amazingly, shy of like maybe like my office, which has like a few oddments, there's not a lot of like in your face fandom anything.
Right.
And I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just because the office consumes all of it, because everywhere you look here, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, I really, I'm like, whenever I'm there, I'm like, I'm just in a Disney mindset, and that's why I like this Star Wars painting. It's like, and it's like, yeah, but this is like what you do. Like,
right.
I think even getting like buying into like the Disney Vacation Club, which is effectively Disney's like timeshare program. Like I was able to be like, me and Allie got married there. Disney will never not be special to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, that's it. Like
That's it.
that was the justification I had to tell myself, was this is like, you know what? One of the most important days of my life was here.
Yeah.
That will always be true.
That will always be true.
Yes.
Right?
I will never have to go to war with that truth.
Not much recency bias on your wedding.
No.
Pretty much always your best wedding.
Yes,
Yeah.
it has always been my best wedding.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So art. But will you find the art that you want?
I know. Who's our guy? Will Gay.
Will Gay.
Will Gay is an artist who I think does park stuff, and I'm always looking for it.
I know.
And
Although last time we were there, I think it was also arts, and I remember like going around to every tent, and I was like, I'm looking for that tent, and I couldn't find it.
I know it was never there.
So maybe it'll be here this time, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll be on the lookout. I'm always now. I very obviously want like something like Pluto-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pluto was in the very first Will Gay piece we ever saw.
I know. I know. We should have just gotten that one.
We should have just gotten it. It doesn't matter.
So
It's
annoying.
fine. Yeah, we're gonna skip
that was
that.
even in the rank. It doesn't matter. Okay. Speaking of Pluto, though, number of Pluto pins that my family gathers. I have the line at 13.5.
Oh, I kid you not. I swear on all that is holy, 14 was the number that came to my mind.
Wow, so you're taking the over.
I'm taking the over again.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
also going to take the over on it as well. I'm optimistic about our odds.
I wish I had said it before you gave me the number, because you said 13 and a half, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was exactly.
That's so funny.
It's so perfect.
Well, I'm glad.
love it.
It was really hard to know how to pick the lines. So
You didn't call Vegas to do this for you?
no, I didn't. Yeah,
Wow,
I'm just
okay.
basically going on gut.
Okay. So far, you're batting 1,000.
All right, so I can tell this is the next one. This one, a little tricky.
Okay.
All right, so at least my family, we are signed up for Slinky Dog Dash, Tower of Terror, Tron, and Flight of Passage. How many will Luke ride?
Okay, so I think that Luke will definitely do Slinky because Addison wants to do it.
Okay.
And I suspect maybe that could be a good motivational factor.
Granted, his pre-trip motivation is 100.
Is 100.
He talks a big talk. The question is, will he walk a big walk?
So what's my over number?
2.5.
2.5. I am going to go under.
You're going to take the under.
I think 2. I think he will do Slink and not Tron or Tower, but the fourth one.
Flight of Passage.
Flight. I think he'll do Flight and Slink.
Okay. I'm gonna optimistically take the over.
Okay.
That I think Slinky is the first one on there, and I think if he can do that, because the first day is Hollywood Studio, and that's where Slinky and Tower of Terror both are.
Yeah.
I think if he does both of those, nothing else is a problem. Well, Tron could still be scary, but I think he'll have the courage to do it.
You see, the thing about Tron is you see a lot of it from outside.
Yeah.
Like while you're like walking up to it.
Yeah.
And notably, probably like the marquee thing you see is right after people have been shot out of the cannon, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like
when you're outside,
you're going to hear him screaming.
That's the part he's afraid of. I know that the outside part.
Yeah. Also, not to mention getting into the rig for Tron. Like I could see plenty of just like grown adults who like roller coasters being a little uncomfortable with the configuration.
Yeah.
Although that being said, I don't find it to be uncomfortable at all. I've heard people say that, and so I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're wearing a belt, so.
Exactly. And my Mickey jeans.
And your Mickey jeans.
Which about...
apparently don't fit.
Wait, what?
Because you have to wear a belt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
All right. Next up. How many 0 pins will your family gather?
Ooh.
I have the line at 6.5, just because I think 0 is probably a little less common than Pluto.
Okay, so once again, I kid you not, the number that came to my mind was 6.
Oh, so there we go. So you're taking the under.
I would take the under. And I would say that this is where I'm mostly applauding you, Jonathan Carlin's tenacity, because you go for it.
I mean, I do.
You do. And like, I think that for whatever reason, this is like I would say this is like a vulnerability thing for me. It's like, I can't let people know what excites me. Like, cause then that could be hurt. And, so it's like,
but if you don't let people know that it's also hard to be enjoyed.
I mean, welcome to my world.
I know.
The world of Red Bull. No, yeah. I mean, that is the grand concern. So I think it will depend on how hard I will let myself go for it.
Okay. Well, bear in mind that I will also be looking.
For 0 pins.
For 0 pins.
Okay, that helps. That helps then.
I think of it as like a group activity. Like, I'm looking for Pluto first and foremost, but if I see like Dalmatians or Goofy or 0, I will pick them up too.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no scenario where you don't go to like one of these kiosks and it's like I see like a Pluto and I'm like, I bet you it doesn't have that one. It's like, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Yeah.
Pass.
No, whatever.
No.
I'll just tell him I saw it.
Okay. So have I recorded my answer?
You said 6.
Okay. Well, if you're helping, I'm going to amend to over.
Okay. Ben's going to the over.
And I'm thinking 8. I think that is the amount of influence I think you could have.
I think I will put 8 in parentheses there.
Okay,
there
cool.
we go. Boom. How many fireworks shows will we watch? I have it at half a point.
Half a point.
Half a point.
We are bad at this because we have young kids. But I do the Happily Ever After fireworks show at Magic Kingdom is like, I mean, it gives me like legitimate chills. I mean, I really, really like it.
Yeah.
Like we saw Hadestown while we were on tour in New York City and Jordan Fisher was performing. And to me, I know Jordan Fisher as the guy who sings Happily Ever After.
Oh, that's so funny.
And so like to me, I was like, oh my gosh, he's singing that song.
He's singing that song.
Yeah, he's my boy. So you know, that's like one of those things that that I would desperately want to do. So this would be like Fantasia. Animal Kingdom doesn't really have a nighttime show, do they?
They have like a something with the boats. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it either.
Yeah.
And then Epcot is new, and I desperately want to see it.
Yeah,
yeah, that would be a really fun one.
Yeah, like want to see it, but can the kids hang?
Can the kids hang? I know. Then Magic Kingdom is our last night.
Yeah,
that's the other thing too. However, we are also going to this really cool like DVC like rooftop bar called the Villains Lair.
Yeah,
our first night, our first full day there.
I don't think that counts. This has to be in the park.
In the park.
Yeah,
even though they pipe in the music and everything.
No, it doesn't count.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so that one
that's
count.
a gimme.
I'm gonna say over.
You think the over? I think I'm taking the under. I bet we don't watch any.
No fireworks.
No fireworks.
Oh man, I'm determined to prove you wrong.
I mean, maybe. Here's my other reasoning though: is that like even if we're at Magic Kingdom whilst the fireworks show is happening, I feel like I'm just gonna try and ride rides.
What?
Yeah.
You would skip the fireworks?
I would. I've seen it a bunch. And here's what I don't want to do is stand in that crowd of people with my 3 kids for an hour while they wait when I could be riding Tiana's Bayou Adventure at night and seeing the fireworks as we crest the peak.
I mean, that, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound bad.
Exactly.
But Jordan Fisher.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be upset seeing the fireworks show either.
Okay.
But I mean, it's hard to get the kids to hang. So we'll just I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
I'm not trying to like sabotage it or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be up for it.
You say that now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many perfect scores do we get on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin? I have it at 1.5.
1.5?
Yeah.
That seems high.
You think so?
I think under.
You think under?
I think under. I think you will get 1.
I will get 1. You don't think you'll get it?
I've never gotten it.
You've never gotten it?
I've never gotten it.
Well, maybe we know what we're doing during the fireworks show. I think you will get it.
This is your moment.
Ben takes it under. I'm taking the over. All right. Number of Disney characters we will take photos with. I put it at 7.5.
Oh man. That's a really good benchmark that you've set there. I think that's a solid. Because I was gonna say I bet it's high.
I bet it's high.
And
I mean, we're going to like a character breakfast one day.
Yep. And then we're doing the Bippity Boppity Boutique. And if the videos we've been watching online are any indication, it seems as though some of the princesses filter through while you're there.
That's exciting. Okay.
Maybe get to meet Cinderella.
Okay.
Which, like, that's like one of those things where like Cinderella, even like just through like the landscape of Disney movies, doesn't rank like super high on like my all-time favorites or anything.
No.
But there is a certain, when you're at the parks, there's a certain majesty to Cinderella showing up.
Well, for sure. I mean, at Disney World, Cinderella is the princess. The princess.
The capital.
Is capital P princess
because it's her castle.
Because it's her castle. Yeah.
But I mean, still, yeah. It's like I feel like when you see Cinderella, it's like, dang, this is an experience.
It's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah.
I can't wait for meeting you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So there's that. I'm gonna say over.
I think over as well. I think I'll go over on that also.
I like your benchmark though. That's
okay.
A good one. That's
cool.
A good one. Yeah.
All right. Number of steps taken on whatever happens to be your highest step day.
Okay. So peak step day.
Peak step day. I have it at 30,000.
Ooh, that's high. 30,000's a big one.
It's a big one.
I'm trying to think. I'm going to go under.
I think under too. I think that, I mean, not that it's impossible. Not that it's impossible.
And like, I know when we do our step competitions, like over on Patreon, which by the way, shout out for the Patreon, because one of the things that we do periodically throughout the year is these month-long step competitions that are like just super fun. It doesn't matter which Super Carlin Brothers adjacent property you interact with, they all have access to the same Discord. And so that is where all of it happens. So whether it's through the Griffin Door, Popcorn Culture, Super Carlin Brothers, or Gaming, you can do the step competitions through any of them.
Yep.
But we cap the daily total at 30,000 because we feel like there's a responsibility to
we don't want people to
like to
try and set 100,000 days or something.
Exactly. But yeah, so there's a point where it becomes too many steps in one day. But that being said, I think the big thing about Disney is like I'll probably average at the parks, I bet 22 to 25,000, and those are, I mean, that's big step days.
That's big step days.
And the one caveat that I would say with that is that I also bet if you could measure it, your standing hours is probably very, very high.
Very high.
So even if you're not like walking, you're physically on your feet, which probably doesn't account for what would otherwise be, I bet, another 10,000 easily.
Yeah. Okay, so we're taking the under, but I bet we get like 25,000 or something is where I bet we get to.
Yeah,
Maybe I should have set that one lower. Oh, well, we'll see. All right. Number of Mickey Mouse ice cream bars eaten by the whole family on the whole trip.
So we're gonna have to tally these.
We will. However, I still only set it at 5.5.
You'll do that.
I think I'll get to 2.
Honestly, I am not blown away by the Mickey Mouse ice cream bars personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I was like I like them what I feel like is a disproportionate amount.
They have a really nice break.
They have a really nice break, and the chocolate is way better than you think it's going to be, or in my opinion.
You're kind of selling me on it right now.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Right.
Also, if Addison sees anybody eating one, she will absolutely.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm imagining I will get one, and then if I get one, probably a number of children will fall. Yeah. So it's like, how many kids are with me when I get one or not?
Okay, give me the number again.
I just said 5.5.
5.5.
I don't feel like anyone else really likes them as much. Like when people ask me, like, what's your favorite park treat? This is my answer.
I find it to be a weird one.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean, no, don't. You don't have to apologize. I'm because it does feel so comparable in my head to like the ones you can go to like the freezer aisle.
Yeah,
section.
to get like a PET, pet bar or whatever.
Yeah, like one of those.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's better than that.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see here.
Which I could be wrong, but
yeah.
But like I think the churro, at least the Disney World, I think the churros are overrated.
I agree with you. I think the churros are. But the churro toffee though.
Churro toffee's insane.
Is insane.
Or at least the one at Disneyland was.
I cannot wait to go back to Disney World, and I hope that they have it.
Yeah, I would say the corn dogs at Disneyland were insane, but they don't have those at Disney World.
I know, from the Red Wagon thing.
Yeah,
or
that
like
was
the
really
red
good.
train car. Okay, I'm gonna go over.
You're going over?
Because I think we have 17 people in our party.
It feels unlikely, right?
It feels unlikely that we won't eat
That we won't eat more?
That we won't eat 6?
That we won't eat 6? I'll take the over as well. You're talking me into it.
Okay. Because now, now I want one.
Okay.
We're gonna be there for a whole week. I can at least stomach one ice cream bar.
Okay.
But y'all, let me pause myself right there, because today we need to let you know that today's episode of Popcorn Culture is sponsored by BetterHelp. Y'all, it is 2025, and that means we've got 365 pages lying before us, just waiting for each day's story to be written. And who knows, maybe that obscure plot detail that you dropped in a few years back that everybody's been, rampantly theorizing about will finally grow into something special, or maybe you've just got a whole new plot twist on the horizon. Either way, the real key is to remember that you hold the pen in life, and you get to write your own story. And here's the thing about that metaphor is that, like, while I think it's very easy to stomach, sometimes there's something we want to put down on that page, but there's something else that feels like is holding us back from doing so. And sometimes my therapist will actually stop me mid-sentence while I'm inside of a session and just ask, then why haven't you? Why haven't you done the thing that you just said you wanted to do? Like, what's actively holding you back? And who knows, maybe something is holding you back, but at least for me, most of the time, the only thing holding me back is me. So write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/poppop today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/poppop. Link in the show notes in the description down below.
Number, I guess this could be like your personal number, I guess. Number of rides ridden on whatever day you ride the most rides.
Okay, so again, this is one of those times where when we go to Hollywood Studios, we have like a DVC perk going on, and I promise I'm not trying to tell you on this. I feel like I need to explain what we have going on. But we have
it's some kind of after hours.
Yeah, it's an after hours event for Vacation Club members or whatever, and we had to go and get like in like a digital queue and do like the whole Taylor Swift Ticketmaster purchase extravaganza. And that means that the whole park will empty except for anybody who has secured these passes. And we are both members, like individually, and I got in and you didn't.
I didn't.
Fortunately, I have enough passes to cover everybody who wants to go. So you'll obviously just do the evening
I'll just do it with you. Yeah.
But just to speak to the exclusivity of it, and that was us both having it open on time.
Right.
So I think that night we'll probably ride all the big ones at Hollywood Studios.
Right. So I have it set at 10.5.
10.5 is a big number to hit. That means we have to get 11. But I think we can swing it. I think
so?
I think over.
Okay. You think over? Yeah. I want it to be over for sure.
We are gonna have to bring these data points because I think that who this is gonna motivate like crazy is our dad.
Oh, if
he's heard these things, he's gonna be like asking us like, boys, what do we need for today? 11? Okay. All right. There's no line over here. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take the over too. I am confident because we'll get no matter what. I think we were signed up. I think we'll get 4 in the middle of the day no matter what.
Just from fast passes.
Based on fast passes and stuff. Plus probably one more at least.
If we don't ride at least one thing that's not a fast pass, then I feel like we're doing Disney wrong.
Yeah. Like I bet, like the saucers, the alien saucers. I bet we do that. That's easy.
Yeah. Addie loves the spin.
Yes. We could even do that twice. That could easily get us a 6 right there.
Boom, bam.
Boom, bam.
All right. New objective for this upcoming Sunday is 12 rides.
12 rides on Sunday. I'm game.
Me and you. Pound it?
Pound it.
All right. We're in.
Boom. All right. This is more of a yes or no.
Okay.
Will anyone in the family be that guy on the laugh floor?
Oh, okay. I feel like I've overhyped this at this point. And last time it wasn't me. So it has officially not been me.
Not always been you, but it's been you.
I feel like it's been me a disproportionate number of times for how unlikely it is to be the one of 300 people that they picked
in the room.
Like it's been like 3 times or something.
Right.
So it's like, that's unbelievable.
Right. Now, here's what I would say, factoring in your thoughts here, is like it feels like it's like a 1 in 17 chance.
Because that's how
many people we have on the trip. However, I've never seen it be a kid.
A child.
It's almost always an adult male.
Yes.
Is what it seems like.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Which limits our numbers down a bit.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It files it down. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say
under.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be a no. It'd be fun if it is, but I think I can safely take the no on that one.
At this point in time, though, I think back in the day, what was kind of interesting about being selected, and maybe this is why it was happening to me, is I had like a concern that it would be me.
Oh yeah,
but
like
now, they can tell. But now I'm sort of like in on it, and I'm like, it's like bring it.
Okay,
bring it.
You know what? I'm switching it to yes, based on I have a mustache.
And
not only that,
right.
I think it'll be me.
You're gonna call your shot.
I'm calling my shot.
Right.
Calling my shot.
Yeah, you've changed. You are now that guy.
I'm now that guy. Yeah. I know. Like I can see them because mustache. Especially because if you don't know how this show works, like they have like real comedians backstage doing improv, and they tell a lot of the same jokes, but they have to pick on the audience differently each time.
Yeah.
Based on who's there, and I feel like I would be a slam dunk person to pick on.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm calling.
Big that guy energy.
Big that guy energy. Okay, so next one. How many times we take pictures with Super Carlin Brothers fans?
Oh, okay. So I am going to, let's see, what's a good way to
I have it at 11.5.
Ooh, 11.5. I'm going to say under.
You think under?
I think under.
Okay.
I think under. But now you have to report to me every time it happens.
I know, yeah.
Because we're not always
yeah.
together.
I know, yeah. It could happen. It could happen separately.
However, if you're listening and we're there and you see us and you're like, I don't want to interrupt them while they're with their family, it is okay.
Okay.
The whole family knows.
Yes.
They are fully
You're
and
welcome to
They
it.
think it's very cool. So it's like, you can come and say hello. It is totally fine. We want to meet you.
Okay, I'm gonna take the under as well, but you never know.
You never
All right,
know.
this one's very right in the Discord, Ben.
Okay.
And only because of a fun coincidence.
A coincidence?
A coincidence in scheduling. How many times will we run into Dola?
Dola.
I have it at 2.5.
2.5. Okay. So Dola is, in case you're unaware, she's a very integral person in our community, and she's a moderator over on Discord, and just a lovely human being, and will also, by coincidence, be at Disney while we're there. So that's so fun. Okay, so 2.5 would mean that we would run into her at least twice.
We would have to, if we run into her twice, it's under. If it's 3, it's over.
Okay. I'm going to say over.
You think over? I took the under, but I think it'll be 2.
You think it'll be 2?
I think it'll be 2.
Okay.
And all right, final question. This is another almost like running gag. I think I'm remembering it correctly. Will Alice get soaked on Tiana's Bayou Adventure? Because I want to say every time we did Splash Mountain, Alice is always the one who gets wet.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Is this a true or false?
This is yes. True or false?
True or false? True.
True.
I think
true as well.
True. Alice also kind of has big fat guy energy. If I'm being completely honest.
Oh, you think she could be it?
Well, no, not in the scare floor, but she also has that like highly. I think it's because her. I mean, obviously this doesn't impact how you get splashed on a ride or anything like that. That maybe just be like misfortune. But like Alice, if you have not seen her before, has very large eyes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that draws a lot of like attention to her very quickly. Mm-hmm. There are these like vortexes that are just like drawing everything,
right?
You know,
yeah.
They have their own gravitational.
They got
force.
a gravitational force to
That's
them.
That's it. Yeah. At least enough. Maybe it's like says her husband.
Yeah, you were drawn in.
I was drawn. It was the eyes.
It was the eyes.
That's what did it. Oh man, what a very very fun game.
Well, thank you.
That was a treat.
That was that was good. So we'll see how we do.
That was like a Mickey Mouse ice cream bar.
Which we'll have so many of.
Which apparently.
Yeah. I know. This is like one where I'm like, I'll have one. I'll be like, can I get another one? Can I get away with getting another one?
My answer is yes. Yeah. I've been very good all month in preparation for not being good while we're there.
I know.
And what I mean by that is eating. Food.
Yeah. Eating food.
Yes. Like I am very excited for basically just like taking any guilt that I may ever harbor about like what I'm consuming and just balling it up like a little paper ball and throwing it at the old waste paper basket right next to the brain desk. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's like it's in there.
It's in there.
Whatever.
It's gone.
With a whole bunch of random obscure characters from Harry Potter that I also can't remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll uncrinkle that paper and get the answer right. Maybe you won't.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm trying to think of an obscure character now. Give me one so I can make my joke.
Who is the character who's wearing a dress at the Quidditch World Cup?
It's like, okay, so am I going to feel guilty about this? And it's like,
you got it? I feel like you know this one.
I do.
We just read this chapter.
My mind wanted to say Barty, but it's not Barty.
That's Barty. Yeah, that's Barty Crouch Jr. Not Barty Crouch. Barty Crouch Sr. is the Quidditch World Cup. Yeah.
Who is it? Tell me.
It's Archie.
Archie. You see what my brain did?
Yeah.
You see what it did?
Yeah.
It reached for
Artie.
Yes.
Yeah. You got the Artie of it. Yeah. Very close. It's swimming around up there.
It's swimming around up there. Yeah. Yep. But so like I will go Archie. Yeah. So I will be like, should I feel guilty about this? Archie. And it's going to be like, why did you think Archie? And it's going to be like, I don't know. Oh, well.
See ya.
And then I'll eat the slice of ham or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Why ham?
Why?
I don't know.
Like, you know how when you're at Disney World and you're just having a nice slice of ham?
It's like, there's ham everywhere.
I get ham on a stick.
Ham on a stick.
That'd be fantastic.
It would be, and I would probably eat it. Anyway, so we've had the most disjointed episode ever. We took 20 minutes to start, and we spent 20 minutes playing an impromptu game. It's not part of our regular scheduled programming. What else we got, Jay?
Well, Ben, I'll tell you what else we got is the Washington Commanders.
There was no way we couldn't talk about it.
Look,
none whatsoever.
You guys have been listening to us this long. You know we like the Commanders, and you're probably aware that historically they have not been great.
Yeah, historically terrible.
However, this past Saturday night, the Commanders treated the country to what has got to have been one of the greatest games of football ever put on television.
It was absolutely stunning.
Stunning victory over the number 1 ranked Detroit Lions to advance to the NFC Championship game next week.
The narrative here, truly and honestly, is that the Lions should have won the Super Bowl.
Like according to all of the odds.
According to all of the odds. Like they are an absolutely phenomenal team. Like having to play them in this game, it was like one of those things where it was like, that is the worst possible
it's the worst draw.
You have such a terrible path. So nothing but sheer respect. I mean, to the Detroit Lions.
Exactly. And if you've been a Commanders fan, you were like looking at the schedule of the playoffs and you were like, okay, we made it to the playoffs. Amazing. It rarely happens, but we're here.
Yeah.
It is possible that we can win the first game, which has not happened in an extremely long time. We can win a playoff game. Something that alone would have been glorious.
Right.
But then there was no way around it. If you won the first one, the second game was the Lions.
And you're not going to beat the Lions.
And there was just like, that's probably as far as we can go, barring some sort of miracle. And Ben, such a thing happened.
Such a thing happened. The number of times. Okay, so we put Addison down because the game kicked off at 8 in my house, and the number of times that I almost woke Addie up, not because of how loudly I was cheering, but because of how abruptly I shot up off the couch.
Same thing.
And my dog Indy thought someone was breaking into the home.
Wow.
Because I got up with such
such vigor.
Yes. And I mean, I know not to scream because Addie is sleeping, but my body language, the intensity, my palms could have been yard sprinklers with how much moisture was exiting from them.
I mean, they kept saying in the game that they've become known as the cardiac commanders because of how many times, this season, they have nearly given their fans heart attacks with not just fourth quarter victories, but last play of the game victories.
Yes.
Which has been you're just down to the wire and you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way. And then something crazy happens. And it's just that is how it felt so many times. If you watch football, you'll of course know often on fourth down, that is when you have the ball, you can get 4 tries to move 10 yards and that gives you a new first down.
Yeah.
So typically on fourth down, either if you're close enough, you'll kick a field goal and try and get some points there. Or if you're too far away from the end zone or the field goal, you'll just punch it away so your opponents are further away from their end zone.
Succinctly said.
Those are typically the options. Fourth down is a kicking down.
Yeah.
But the Commanders have thrown that rule straight out of the window. And the thing is, if you go for it, there's a third option. You can just go for it. You can run another play and just try and advance the ball forward and try and get that first down. And typically, the typical wisdom is don't do that, because if you don't get it, your opponent gets the ball in a very good spot.
Wherever you are. Yeah, I don't want to say it's rarely done, but it doesn't seem like the modus operandum.
Yes, it seems like it has been it's typically done in situational fashion.
Yes,
where it's normally you wouldn't go for it because you just kick the field goal. Take the points.
Right.
Field goals are normally pretty automatic. And it's better to have points on the board. The Commanders have thrown this rule out the window, and they went for it on fourth down, I think 5 times in this game, and they got it 4 out of the 5 times. 4 out of 5, yeah. And oh my gosh, though, every time they did it, it was oh my gosh. I felt like I was gonna lie. I was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? How is this gonna work? Oh my God, they got it! There's no way they got it!
I want to say that with 40 seconds left in the game, they were up by 2 touchdowns, and I was like, they're gonna blow it. They're gonna blow it. That's
Dude,
it. That's it.
Same.
It's there's no way. There's no way.
That's the thing. That's how I think every Commander fan in the country was feeling, because it's you've been trained to feel that way, and you're just you're Tom Brady sitting there doing the commentary, and he's like, well, I think the Lions are pretty much out of it. They're going to lose this one. I mean, they got a long road ahead of them in the next 2 minutes. Things have to go pretty much perfectly. They got to, get a touchdown and then an onside kick recovery and then a Hail Mary, and you're like, Tom, stop talking.
Yes.
Stop talking, and and none of that came true.
I know.
in fact, they like turned the ball over before they even got the first touchdown.
Yes,
So,
and it was like, okay, there it is.
there it is. That was it.
That being said, though, goodness gracious, if you want to see what I think is like some of the like, you know, very anecdotal, very small corner of like what am I trying to see, like maybe like toxic masculinity, like losing, is if you watch the post-game interview with the Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, who is this, I mean, like, he almost looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin a little bit.
He's huge.
Like, he's a very, like, big, muscular man and, you know, all that. And he has done a tremendous thing for the Detroit Lions and making them a great sports program. But his post-game interview, I mean, he's like in tears. Like, he's just, he gets like to the end of this like big long pause and he's like, it's my fault. And you're just like, oh my gosh, man, no, it's not.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. So many other things happened. Like, so it's unbelievable how excited I am for the Commanders and how much empathy I have for the Detroit Lions.
I know. Beth was having the same problem. She's like, I feel so bad for all the Lions fans because it was in Detroit too.
Detroit, I know.
In Detroit on the road. So, but yeah, it was an exciting game. And now the Commanders find themselves in a position where they are one win away from playing in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I can't
say it.
I know. I'm like, just I can't even, right. And that, to make it even crazier, to make the story even better, is that they will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles for that honor. Which, if you don't know, are one of their divisional rivals. So it's the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants, and those they each of those teams play each other twice. That's the NFC East. And so they've already played them twice this year, and they've already traded wins.
Yes. I know. Anyway, so now the really big topic of conversation for me, Jay, is that like we're going to be at Disney on Sunday.
I know.
And it's the day that we're trying to ride 12 rides.
Yeah.
At Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And it's like normally the great thing about being at Disney is that there's so much expense, there's so much planning, there's like everything, even just your own excitement is funneling into these like singular days of happiness and enjoyment, where like as far as I'm concerned, it's sort of like, you know, if I get like a work phone call or whatever, it's like I'm just like, no. Like I'm at Disney. It's like I work so hard to be here and to be as present as I possibly can be and to be with my family and to like have Mickey Mouse ice cream bars.
Yeah.
And like and there is a piece of me that is like, we're going to be there, but at the same rate, I need to find a way to watch the game. Like,
I know.
It's like we can't not watch the game.
I know. I'm finding this real problem. And I thought it was going to be on, like, part of me was like, maybe it'll be on, maybe they'll do it like this weekend where there's a Saturday game and a Sunday game, and it's like, nah, they're just both on Sunday. And I'm like, maybe we'll be the night game, and it's like, it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's like, it's 3:00 on Saturday, and I'm like, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a tricky one because in a very, very weird way, like being at Disney, you're right. There's a lot of planning and preparation and stuff for it. And I am so looking forward to it. It's like I've been to Hollywood Studios a bunch of times, and the Commanders have never been in the NFC Championship game since I've been watching football.
Yes.
You know? Like part of it, you know, it's like, this might never happen again.
It's like all of a sudden you're going to be at Disney World, and it won't be the most exclusive thing happening that
somehow.
day. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't be thinking that. I can't think that. But I also, I'm like, I feel like we've got to find a way to like, I'll at least have it on my phone, you know, doing something.
I know. We're going to have to bring like so many battery banks.
I know. I'm like, I got to bring some chargers because I'm very excited for the game. It's been wild to be a Commanders fan this year. And
it truly, it's kind of fun to me though, because like I feel like we've gone through the whole like Washington football team and they're getting a new name, and we were frustrated with the name Commanders because it was like, all right, whatever. But like it's like they have done well enough that I've put all of that behind me.
Right.
At this point in time, I am just a Commanders
I'm
fan.
like, nope, they made all the right decisions.
Yes.
Commanders.
Let's go. Oh man, yeah. I think Alice was like having more fun watching me watch the game than she was having fun doing anything else this weekend.
Man.
She was just like so jazzed.
I mean, it was a blast. Me and Beth were watching it together. I mean, she was just like, she was yelling as much as I was. She was like,
she really?
I mean, she couldn't believe it either. She's like, is this happening? This never happens.
I know.
You know?
I know. Like, it was really cool.
It was, yeah. So, Oh, here's hoping the momentum carries forward. You know, if they're in the Super Bowl, Ben, oh my gosh.
Don't even say
I know.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like,
that's my bad.
I just.
I know.
I can't think about it.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we'll say on that. But just, you know, if you wanna support the Commanders this weekend, you know, go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We will be.
What else?
Let's see. We can talk about the Happy Meal toy. That was kind of a funny story.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Yeah.
So Jay, over the weekend we had kind of a little bit of an interesting psychological experiment happen with our children.
Oh, I suppose so.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the right way to describe it.
Okay.
But you and I and mom and dad had all gone out to lunch, and we had Addie and Luke with us.
Yes.
And then Alice was working, and Beth was with the twins. So that explains away where everybody was during this particular situation. But yeah, so after we got back from lunch, I believe like we both had like our car doors open and we were kind of like facing each other.
Yeah.
And you guys had gone to McDonald's at some point in time, and you had gone with the intention of finding like the Sonic the Hedgehog Happy Meal toys for Luke's.
Well, not even.
Not even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me back it up for
Okay.
you.
Happy Meal toys.
Yeah, Happy Meals always right. So when Sonic 3 came out in theaters,
Yes.
I took Luke and Nick and Nate to the theater to watch it, and they all loved it.
Yes.
And they have been on a real Sonic kick ever since then.
Okay. Even though it features James Marsden.
Even though it features James Marsden.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is like known information. I have like a weird thing with James Marsden.
I do not get it.
I don't know what it is about this man. It's like I am 1,000% sure that if I met him, I'd be like, wow, you were so nice. And like, I can't believe I have had these feelings towards you ever for no reason. You've done nothing to me.
You've done nothing to me.
There is something about James Marsden as an actor that takes me out of everything that he's in. And it's like, it's not hateful. It's not coming from like a place of negativity. I just can't help it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's something about him that doesn't feel like it fits with cinema.
Okay.
I'm like he like accidentally walked onto set and was too handsome not to film or something. I don't know. But anyway, so James Marsden is in the Sonic movies. And
Yes.
I'm it's not even that I would say I'm not a fan. I just don't like the movies he's in.
Well, the Sonic movies are lovely.
Okay. I need to give him a shot.
They are for sure movies that are just like way better than they have any right to be. It feels like
that's how I felt about the Lego movie when it came out. It was like, this movie's not going to be good, and then it was like, what is this? It's so amazing.
And the important thing is I know whatever beef you have with James Marsden, don't even worry about that, because the real show is Jim Carrey.
Okay.
And Jim Carrey is such a phenomenal Dr. Robotnik that it's like that's worth seeing it no matter what.
Okay.
I hope they make 100 more Sonic movies just so we just get to keep seeing him do it.
I love that. And I do love Jim Carrey. So,
yeah. And this is like all he's doing now. It's just Sonic.
He's just Sonic.
It's just Robotnik.
He has put all of his rings in that Sonic basket.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's what, like Sonic rings. Is that a joke on that?
That was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I knew something.
You know about the rings.
I know about the rings. I played
Which
Sonic the Hedgehog too.
in the movies, they're like the Doctor Strange portals. That's how they like travel.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How fun.
Very fun. Very fun. So anyway, we saw the movies, and then the Happy Meal toys at McDonald's for a while were were Sonic toys, like little tie-ins. And every time we've gone, Luke has desperately wanted to get either like the Supersonic or Shadow or Super Shadow.
Okay.
Those are the ones he wants, or even Tails. But all we have gotten so far is Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
2 different kinds of Knuckles, just
Wow.
making different poses.
Dang.
Yes, and that like every time, and like it's Nick loves Sonic and Nate loves Knuckles, and it's like it keeps feeling so unfair to Luke that the ones they like they keep getting, and the ones he likes he's not getting at all.
Yes.
And so I keep trying to find excuses to go to McDonald's so that we can just roll the dice again and see like can we get one of them this time.
I feel like we are so dad's sons in this particular regard. Like,
Yeah.
Dad always talks about like the collector's gene.
Oh,
we have it.
We have it
so bad.
I know. I love collecting stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I think for a while I like resisted it, and now I'm just like, why was I doing that?
Why was I doing that? I
Why
can
was
buy
I
Happy
doing
Meal.
that?
This is fine.
I know. I'm going to go. Let's go. Pokemon cards are coming back soon, too, to the Happy Meals. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know. But so anyway, Luke's first basketball game was this past weekend, first basketball game of the season. And he was pretty nervous about it. But I told him, like, hey, you know what? Afterwards, you can pick where we go get lunch, okay? And that seemed to excite him much. And then he wanted to go, and he was like, oh, can we go to McDonald's? And I was like, absolutely, we can go to McDonald's. So, but then he wanted to know, what's the toy? Like, is it still Sonic? Because he knows they switch around. And so we looked it up. And when we looked online, what it said the toys were going to be was Disney World 50th anniversary toys.
Okay.
And I was like, well, geez, that's perfect because we're going to Disney World.
Yeah.
And he was looking at all the toys there and he's like, oh, cool. And like one of them was like Donald and the teacups or something. He loves the teacups. So he was all about that. And he was like, but honestly, he seemed like it didn't even matter. Any of them would be good.
Okay.
So I was like, great, cool. We'll go to McDonald's. We'll get a Disney toy. We're going to Disney next week. Great. But then we pull up to the McDonald's and we're going through the line and I see that's what he's expecting. But like what pops up on the screen is and Sonic toy. And I was like, oh, this is about to be even better.
Yeah.
Because now I was like, oh, Luke. It looks like on the screen it said Sonic toys. I think this place might be behind. Like they're still doing Sonic here. And he's like, what? Oh my God, I'm even more excited now. And I was like, okay, great. And I'm feeling like we got a pretty good shot at it this time. Because like we've been doing enough time has passed. Like they got to be through the Sonics. They got to be through the Knuckles. They got to be into the toys we want now.
Yeah.
Like we've rotated through. Right. Come on. And then they hand me the box. It's got a big picture of Shadow on the side, and he opens it up and he pulls out the toy. And not only is it not Sonic, but it's not even the Disney ones.
What?
I know it's not, and it's also clearly just left over from like a year and a half ago when the Marvels movie came out.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like Goose the Flurkin or whatever. And Luke is just like this went from like good to better to the worst.
Yeah.
And I was like, this, I mean, I like fortunate they needed to they're like, can you pull up to the second window and we'll give you your this is taking a few minutes. So like, I even asked them like, do you have the Sonic toys? Cause it's like no good.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're like, we ran out. And I was like, you still got the Sonic boxes. So
order the same number.
So I don't know how you could have ordered less toys than you had boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were doing your dad's duty.
I was doing my duty here, and they're like, "Sorry, we ran out." And I'm like, "Oh man!" Darn. And like Luke kind of even recognizes like there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
So he kind of chilled out about it. But then we went. We got lunch with you and Mom and Dad, and we're getting in the car, and he's like, just tell Ben about the McDonald's. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, Ben, guess what happened? We got totally faked out on the Happy Meals. And then like you like are just like listening to the story, and you like have the car door open, and we finish the story, and you like bend over and just pull out of the side of the door.
Yeah, like the door jam, the Shadow toy from McDonald's.
The Shadow McDonald's toy. And I was like, oh my God, you've got it.
Yes.
You have it within arm's reach? No way.
It was the most unbelievable thing. It was like, you mean this?
Yeah. I mean, I could just see Luke's eyes just like, like all of his dreams had come true all of a sudden. Right.
Yeah, it's like, gosh darn it, if only I had a $100 bill right now.
I know. Yeah. I don't. I carry cash over here.
Cash? Yeah, no. So it's this like miraculous moment. And honestly, like it has been living in my door jam for like a month or something. So it's like, this is not something that's been important to Addison. She has not particularly fallen in love. And sometimes she does. Like sometimes she like gets like one of these toys and it's like all of a sudden she like wants to like make, bring it to, nap time with her and bring it to show and tell at school. And it's like a whole important thing. But this one has not been one of those. But then there ends up being kind of like one of those situations where like, I think the emotion of the environment let her know all of a sudden that toy that she had not cared about at all was special. And so like there's this moment where we're sort of like, oh, like we'll give it to Luke, and then we're like, oh, this will be perfect. And like Luke's like, here, she can have like mine, and like gives her like the Flurkin toy or whatever. And the Flurkin, I think it has to be said, is like can be like a little. It's a little bit like if you don't know what it is, like maybe creepier toy.
I mean, it's a cat with like tentacles coming out of its mouth.
It's a cat with tentacles coming out of its mouth.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's this like moment where all of a sudden like Addison has sort of like read the tea leaves, and she's kind of like, well, no, it's like, I want that one, like the shadow figure.
Yeah, the shadow figure.
And it's like, we're like, I think me and you were looking at each other like, no. Like,
right.
What has happened? How did this backfire?
I know,
like,
right.
It should have been totally perfect and
Right.
adorable. And so it ends up being the case that we leave.
Yeah.
Like we pull away.
I know, like Luke, he was a trooper about it. Like, you know, he got in there and he like recognized that Addison didn't want to do the trade, and he was a little sad about it, but we got in the car and we went on our way. And we came to the office. I went to look for like my collector's gene was in gear at the moment. I went to like a rogue store to look for some Pokemon packs, which they didn't have.
Oh, darn.
But I know, I was like, maybe people don't know about this place.
Our secret hiding spot. Okay.
But it seemed like maybe they just either they didn't get any, or they hadn't put them out yet, or they hadn't gotten them yet. But
I'll check back.
Yeah, I'll check back. You know,
Yeah.
They probably, as a place that isn't known for its card sales, it's possible that they just weren't like up on the hype.
Maybe they just weren't up on the hype.
Exactly. They were like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, there's no reason to restock yet because we still have some out there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll get to it when we get to it. So I'll just keep checking. But anyway, we're out doing that, and you give me a phone call.
Yes.
And
basically Addison has decided, like on the drive home, she's like, I do want to give Luke the toy. And it's like one of those things where like, I was like, I felt horrible for Luke, because I was like, oh my gosh, the devastation. Like I'm like going through my brain. And the problem is that like Happy Meal toys, you know, if you were to go and like, you know, if you bought one, it's not like even this very one in question. It's not like 10 years from now it's going to be like worth a fortune on eBay or something like that. Like it's like these things don't typically have extraordinary values, and so. But like it's also recent enough, and I'm like, like part of me in my mind is like, I'm gonna have to buy Luke one on eBay or something. Like I don't know, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like I can't easily
certainly not necessary
this situation. But my mind really wanted to, and I don't know if like Addie just like picked that up out of thin air or whatever, because then she's just sort of like, she's like, I think it would make Luke happy if I gave him the toy, and I was like, I agree with you. And so like we had just pulled up at the house, and I was like, we're driving to Jay's house. I'm like you know. We have nothing to do. I will drive across town to Jay's house right now so we can knock on the door and give Luke this toy.
Right.
And so then like I'm driving towards your home, and I'm like, what if he's not home yet? So then that's when I called and I let you know. And so we rendezvous, and Addie comes over and she gives the toy, and then she's like, is it okay if I still have the cat?
Yeah.
And Luke's like,
obviously.
And we make the exchange.
And
it was so adorable and
Yes.
cute. And Addie talked about it for the rest of the day. She was just like, Luke was so happy. I'm like, Addie, you did such a good thing.
Yes.
Such a good thing.
And honestly, she did, because we get a bunch of Happy Meal toys, and a lot of them are, you know, they're Happy Meal toys and they're not great. And they'll play with them for like 3 seconds, and then it's sort of like, they've just sort of become garbage that I own now.
Yeah.
But not the case this time around, because as stated, we have the Sonic ones and the Knuckles ones at the house.
Right.
And I feel like they've enjoyed having them, but they haven't, like Nick and Nate haven't played with them a ton. But upon Luke having his desired character now, they found them and they played with them nonstop all day Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Like the next day.
So perfect.
Like, I mean, they were like building ramps out of magnetiles and building houses for them and rolling them all over the house. So it was like, man,
this worked out.
This worked out very nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good job, Addie.
The victory
Thank
of
you
kindness.
for your generosity.
Yeah. I love it. That's so awesome.
Yep.
Who knew? Who knew? I think it's been so long since, like, because I remember when we were kids and we really liked getting the Happy Meal toys. And I remember, like, I think Burger King had, like, the Pokemon wave that they went through.
Yep.
And you could go. And what was really cool about that was I think there were 150 different toys.
Oh, were there?
I want to say they had, like, one. of every Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
I mean, don't quote me on that. But like my recollection would have served that. And then I also remembered that they had these like limited edition gold-plated like.
Oh yeah, they
metal,
came in the Pokeballs.
They came with a Pokeball.
Yeah.
And, I mean, to this day, I kind of think they're awesome.
They were. It was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 24 karat plated gold. Like, I mean, obviously it's not valuable, but like,
Yeah.
it was still like really, really
It
neat.
felt really cool. It felt like you had like Pokemon treasure.
Yes, exactly. And so I remember that was a lot of fun. I remember we had the Beanie Babies when we were kids. And we were like all about collecting those from McDonald's. But then, I mean, obviously, it's like we did grow up enough to the point where like Happy Meals just sort of weren't even like our order anymore. And at that point in time, it just always sort of seemed like Happy Meal toys were like your run-of-the-mill garage sale garbage.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like we would be better off not having the toys at all.
Right.
Like, let's just, who is actually enjoying them?
Right.
And I think on some level it's been kind of fun because it's like kids at this age do enjoy them.
Yes.
There is
Yeah.
actual like fun that comes from it. So it's a little fun. I mean, it's even like Disney on some level. It's like you get to, it's parenting across the board, is that there's nothing more satisfying than watching your children have fun.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like you don't need to do anything. If you get to watch them have a blast, you will be happy.
There you go.
I promise.
Yep.
It is such a unique and fun and awesome experience. So anyway, I think that's it. I think we made it. We made it through another episode of the Pop.
We did it.
Ha.
We got our over-unders. We got our Sonic stories.
I am so
We don't have belts.
no belts. Maybe nasal strips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am so excited to find out this upcoming weekend because the over-unders, I think, is going to be a whole new game that we get to add to the entire trip.
Right.
Now we got like data. We got tallies.
We're working on it. Yeah.
It's a game.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, things to look forward to in the upcoming weeks to come, episodes of the Pop as we figure out the results to that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I know. It'll be fun to come back and see if we were right or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll report back.
Yep.
But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.
Pop, pop.
Today's episode was edited by Isybelle Christley. Vaishon Brandon does our art. Catherine Stein is our production manager, and the show is hosted by me and Jonathan Carlin.